Hi, Marketing Management Class 330, Summer Session 2 class. I'm Sam Jones, and the book I decided to read about was called Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh. I believe I'm saying his name right. He is the former CEO of a company called Link Exchange, which was an online advertising company in the 90s, and he is currently the CEO of Zappos. Well, most of you have probably heard of Zappos. They're the online shoe company that Amazon recently bought in 2009. He wrote an amazing book. He taught me a lot of things, and one of the things he taught me that I'm currently implementing is don't read and memorize a whole really long script if you're passionate about something. And I'm passionate about this speech because I think I did a really good job in the written presentation, so I'm feeling really confident about it. So I'm not really reading anything in particular. I'm just kind of winging it like he did. So one of the first things about Tony is that he was born of Taiwanese immigrants, came here, and ever since he's been in America, ever since he was born, he has always wanted to run businesses, to make money. When he was a kid, he wanted to sell and breed earthworms. He made his own newsletter that he tried to sell, and so on and so forth. Through middle school, through high school, through college, he always had different kinds of businesses. And so what happened is when he graduated from Harvard, much like Zuckerberg didn't, he graduated from Harvard and he started working for a company called Oracle in the 90s. This is during the 1990s tech bubble where anything with a .com was huge. He worked for Oracle and he really wasn't passionate about anything, wasn't really making anything, making any progress. So what he decided to do was to stop working for them, and he decided to create his own company called Link Exchange with his old roommate Sanjay from Harvard. And Link Exchange would essentially let small websites advertise to many different locations, different sites all over the internet. And this became big. This grew, and after a couple of years, he was eventually able to sell it to Microsoft for $265 million. This guy isn't even 25 yet. He just sold a company for $265 million. He loves what he does. After that, he didn't really know what to do. He created a online shoe store called Zappos. It comes from the Spanish word zapatos, which is shoe in Spanish. So there was a lot of hardships in there. He built his company based off of customer relations, customer service, and employee relations. Everything's all about having the best employees and giving that value to the customers. So this section here is a section in the ebook that I was reading, Delivering Happiness, where Tony Hsieh talks about marketing opportunities. And in this section, just taking the first section, he compares marketing opportunities and business opportunities to playing poker, which relates to my life because I love poker and I also am contemplating opening up a business. So first he talks about table selection, which is business selection that you'd want to be opening. I'd have to contemplate that if I wanted to open up a business in Salisbury. The next is advice, talking about how it would be okay to change businesses if the business I choose at first isn't working. And then lastly, if there's too many competitors, I would have to analyze that and where I'd be placing my business. If there's too many competitors, it's not really worthwhile to create that sort of business in that location in Salisbury. So one of the last things I want to talk about is how does his book relate to our textbook? How does it relate to what we're learning in class? Well, one of the sections, chapter 2 specifically, that he definitely relates to is delivering customer value. And what he did is when he was first creating Zappos, he realized that a lot of the customers on the West Coast, they were getting their deliveries in about a week. They were taking a really long time, so he had to figure out what was going on to deliver that value to the customer. So what he did is he moved his warehouse to Kentucky to make it more central. That 70% of his clients could get their shoes in less than 2 days. And that really just reminded me of the customer oriented marketing and customer relations marketing, where it focused a lot on the customer value and delivering that lifetime value to the customer, along with a lot of the customer loyalty center that he created, which essentially is his customer service. But they were available 24/7, 365 days a year, and he always gave their phone number on the top of every page that you printed out during your purchasing process. So that had a lot to do with chapter 2. In conclusion, I'd like to say that anyone who's in the marketing field, in the business field, in any sort of field, really needs to read this book. It taught me a lot about business, how to become successful in business, and it's just an overall really good book, and it tells you from a realistic standpoint how a person can become successful in the business world and in the marketing world. And it definitely taught me how marketing plays a critical part in any business success. Hsieh didn't just start up a business and didn't care about anybody else. He made sure the customers always came first, even when it was link exchange. He cared about his employees, he cared about his customers. Very good book. I recommend everyone read it. Thank you very much.